Hi, this is John Harcher. Welcome to episode 44 of Left Turn at Albuquerque. We're on to disc 2 of Looney Tunes Collector's Vault Volume 2 with 25 cartoons upgraded to Blu-ray. Let's take a look.
I knew I should have made a left turn at Albuquerque. I knew I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque. I knew I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque. I should have turned left at Albuquerque.
Remember to hit the subscribe button and alerts to keep up with all the new episode videos like my buddy Trey did today. Now, since we've done all of these on either the Golden Collections or Superstars disc, some we may just do a quick comparison of how the Blu-ray upgrade looks. Others we'll take a little deeper dive into. And we'll do something a little different as well. Since we have 4 Roadrunner Coyote cartoons to go over, including the distillation of the adventures of Roadrunner, we'll save all 4 of those until the last section so we can focus on them directly. And since we have a section where 4 out of 5 cartoons are Bugs Bunnies, we'll move the one that's not a Bugs Bunny to just before them and move the one that's earlier to right in front. First up is Awful Orphan, released on January 29, 1949, directed by Chuck Jones and written by Michael Maltese. This originally came out all the way back on Golden Collection Volume 1. This is the second of the Charlie Dog cartoons. It's basically a redo of the first Little Orphan Airedale, even down to some reused animation. Porky's house is invaded by the orphan, but Charlie is such a manipulative mutt, he's not above using guilt trips and emotional blackmail to stay in the house, despite being a complete nuisance. Here's how the upgrade looks. DVD on the left and Blu-ray on the right. Bird in a Guilty Cage came out on August 30th, 1952, directed by Fritz Freeling and written by Warren Foster. This came out on the Tweety-centric Disc 2 of Golden Collection Volume 2. This one takes the Tweety and Sylvester formula and places it in a department store setting, allowing for creative gags involving lots of store merchandise. This was the first time Sylvester crossed birds off his list. Here's the comparison on how they look. We'll do the next one in a few minutes. Claws for Alarm was released on May 22, 1954 by Jones and Maltese. This is the second of the Porky and Sylvester Scaredy-Cat trilogy and was first on Golden Collection Volume 3. Porky and Sylvester check into an abandoned hotel for the night, but the cat discovers it's occupied by homicidal mice. He tries desperately to warn Porky about the danger, but he thinks Sylvester is just being a scaredy-cat. This one is notable for its horror movie atmosphere and Sylvester's genuine terror, creating a different dynamic than his usual predatory role, ramping up the feeling from the original to another level. Supposedly they thought about doing this in 3D, but that phase had passed before they got around to it. And here's how the DVD and Blu-ray look next to each other. Growing Pains came out on July 12, 1947, directed by Robert McKimson and written by Warren Foster. We just did this on Golden Collection Volume 6. This takes the walkie-talkie-hawkie dynamic with Foghorn Henry and Barnyard Dog and adds a still under development Sylvester into the mix. Now, this used to be a blue ribbon, but they found the original titles around 20 years ago, and it's been this way ever since. And here's our comparison. Now for the one that we moved up, Hop and Go was released on March 27th, 1943, directed by Norm McCabe and written by Melvin Miller. We also did this one on Golden Collection Volume 6 as one of the unrestored bonuses on Disc 2. So why is it on this Disc 2? Don't know. They did fix the soundtrack issue, so it's restored.
I'm the champion hopper, and I got a certificate to prove it. See?
Whatever. McCabe was drafted into World War II shortly after making this cartoon, and his directorial unit, which was originally Bob Clampett's, was taken over by Frank Tashlin. You need a flowchart with this sometimes. Ugh. Okay, now for a Bugs Bunny run, each one from a different director. One of them actually with 2 directors. So we've got one from all the biggies except Clampett. We've got almost all of his already on blue except one, the Wacky Wabbit. Too bad it's not here. Would have been perfect. First is the one from earlier on the disc, Bowery Bugs, which came out on June 4th, 1949, is directed by Art Davis and written by just Lloyd Turner, even though Bill Scott's name is there too. We did this back on Golden Collection Volume 3, as well as an addition to the Bugs 80th set, since this is Davis's only Bugs Bunny. This was in syndication quite a lot and had its Michael Barrier commentary ported over for this disc. So here's how the upgrade looks. Frigid Hare was released a few months later on October 7th, 1949. This is the Chuck Jones in the run, written as usual by Maltese. We did this back on Golden Collection Volume 1 and noted how this was one of the banned bunnies from the June Bugs 2001 marathon, yet here it was on the very first Looney Tunes DVD collection. It's Jones's usual motif of Bugs battling a bigger opponent, this time with the penguin tagging along. And for those who noticed, we used this new upgrade in the opening titles, so half of them are from Blu-ray now.
I should have turned left at Albuquerque.
And it's not the director who's the common denominator, even though Chuck Jones did 4 of them. It's the writer. Michael Maltese wrote all 5 references to the left turn at Albuquerque. So here's the look at the DVD and Blu-ray comparison. Hare Remover came out on March 23rd, 1946. This is sort of a twofer. It was begun by Frank Tashlin, who left the studio, and his unit was taken over by Robert McKimson, the same unit that had been Norm McCabe's and Bob Clampet's before that. Like I said, you need a flowchart. Like Bowery Bugs, we've done this both on Golden Collection Volume 3 and as an addition to the Bugs 80th set. Remember the Cook and Dunn mascot that looks like Elmer here? We've done this. And here's our comparison. The Heckling Hare was released on July 5th, 1941, directed by Tex Avery and written by Michael Maltese. Bugs is chased by Willoughby the dog, here voiced by Kent Rogers, and a sort of redo of the Wild Hare and precursor to Hare Ribbon. This is the cartoon that famously ends with Bugs and Willoughby falling off a cliff in an extended sequence, which partially led to Avery's firing. Believe it or not, Avery's idea for a series that would later turn up at Paramount, as Speaking of Animals, was also involved. This was on Golden Collection Volume 2 with the Greg Ford commentary also included here, and was one of the bonuses we added to the Bugs 80th set as a +4. Last for Bugs is Hyde Hare, which came out on August 27, 1955, done by Freeling and Foster. Bugs is adopted by a kindly gentleman, Dr. Jekyll, who appears to be a perfect owner. However, he periodically transforms into the monstrous Mr. Hyde, who terrorizes Bugs. Eventually, Bugs drinks some of the formula himself, but won't admit it, and transforms into a monster rabbit on his own. This is the third of Frizz's Jekyll and Hyde cartoons. Much like Dr. Jekyll's Hyde on Disc 1, this is notable for its darker tone and for showing Bugs genuinely frightened and trying to escape rather than playing tricks. The final transformation of Bugs is particularly memorable for its dramatic animation. It kind of scared me as a kid. This was originally on Golden Collection Volume 2. I don't think it was meant this purposefully, but this section here, along with Bowery Bugs, highlights how each director used Bugs in different ways, from his early development with Avery to how Frizz and Chuck viewed him, and how Tash and Davis were able to pretty easily step right into the model. And adding McKimson's Aladdin is Lamp from Disc 1 and Bugs' chunkier incarnation, this set provides a wonderful little overview of the wascally wabbit. And by the way, Bugs had the third version of In a Little Red Barn in Robot Rabbit.
What's more, I'm pining for a yellow moon that shines whining on a little red barn on a farm down in Indiana way. I said Indiana way.